came to me with a golden face and golden teeth, a crinkled eye and a furrowed brow. Oh, the things she said and how she taught me of things I'd never seen. She told me of you and me. She told me of the secrets that we keep. Oh, the sound, the silence we buried underground. Oh, the deeds, the secrets that we'd keep. Her voice it cracked, her voice it croaked. She said our lives wouldn't be no joke. With a piercing eye, she stared through you. Said I'd shake the earth you stood right through. Your bones, the sound, the silence we buried underground. Oh, the deeds, the secrets that we'd keep. Oh, the sound, the silence we buried underground. Oh, the deeds, the secrets that we'd keep. The hole that we made is swallowing the ocean. The hole that we made is swallowing the sea. The hole that we made is swelling before us. The hole that we made is just big enough for me. The hole that we made is swallowing the ocean. The hole that we made is swallowing the sea. The hole that we made is swelling before us. The hole that we made is just big enough for me. I hushed. I hushed. I hushed.
Bonjour, Chloé Charles.
Bonjour.
It's cool to have you now, because the album has been released a couple of months now. Got a good reviews. Public is like reacting very, very well. How do you? Not too bad. It could have been worse.
Pretty good.
Yeah. How do you feel with all that? The buzz and all that is. What impact does it have on you?
Great. I'm very happy about it. Of course, obviously. I hate it. It's horrible. No, yeah, I mean, it's interesting breaking into a new country and you have no idea if they're going to like you or not. And it seems like France is, you know, a good place for me. So I'm happy because I really like, you know, coming over here. And if I have to do that more often, I'm okay with that.
Yes, you see some like differences between in the reactions of people from country to others, or?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, France, I think, it just seems like we're kind of more similar, at least Chloe and France, in terms of like, you know, liking things that are a little bit quirky or different or unique and sort of a similar aesthetic. And it's different because France, I think, is known to have like its own sort of special taste, and it doesn't really matter what the rest of the world is thinking. France, at least that's what other people think. France likes what they like, and it's nice to sort of fit in that category. I mean, in Germany, it's also kind of, it's a little bit similar, but it's different. And then, of course, there's North America, which is, I think, completely different.
Did you write some new songs since the new album, your first album was released?
Definitely.
Yeah. Are you somebody very productive? You write on a daily basis, or it depends? You have like phases, or?
Definitely not daily. It's just whenever it comes out, I do it. And I think it depends on like if I have time, because I'm touring most of the time, and I find it really hard to write when I'm in a different city every day. So usually when I'm, you know, on my off periods, when I'm by myself, actually.
Does all that have an impact on your songs? I mean, talking about your music with more people than 2 years ago, for example, or having reactions on your first songs on this first album and all that. How does that affect your approach of your personal music and songs?
Well, of course, if you pay attention to your audience and their reactions, you can tell what people respond to better and what they don't, and like which countries like this better than that. And it makes it easier, I think, to sort of direct yourself towards a market if that's the market you want. So for me, I mean, I kind of decided to keep things kind of quirky, but sort of try to also write a few songs that are more accessible to a wider audience as well. I mean, at the same time, I mean, you could totally tailor yourself to your audience, but I won't exactly do that, because that would get really, you know, might get boring if you did everything for everybody else.
Give, child, go, world, way, place, pain, take. Give, child, go, world, way, place, pain, take.
Kill my child, find your way.
There's a word balance in the title of your album. Your face on the album is like dark and shadow. You were born in a city, but you grew up, I think, in the country. Everything is like duality, you think? Everything is like A and B, or black and white in life, and even in your music?
Sort of. I mean, it's sort of, I think of it as, you know, opposing forces always trying to find a balance. So it's never static, and one is black and one is white, but it's always moving back and forth. And I think people are always trying to find like the happy medium or moderation or something. But I think that that's boring. So, you know, go for the extremes. My life has always been really extreme. I tend to be pretty extreme in my emotions, and, you know, just the way I live. And I appreciate that. I think that's kind of exciting.
Was it the same for music for you? I mean, this you don't like to stay in one. You say in like one place. You like to both, like you say, dark and shadow, and etc. Is it the same for music? I mean, to find your own way, or was it between all these different aspects? Where did you find it easily, or?
Easily, maybe not. I don't know. I think it just was. That's just natural. I can't really do anything else, I think. So when it comes to writing, for me, I'm only really, I guess, inspired to write when I'm one extreme or the other. I'm not really like ever inspired to write something when things are just okay. Then I'm, you know, if I'm really upset, obviously, then I'm have to have some sort of outlet. And yeah, and all of the sort of dualities in my life definitely impact the way I write and my perspective on life in general.
Was this first album difficult to do? Because sometimes when you have a first album, you want to put everything in it. You know, it's the first one. It's like not a card, but something of you. It's all your life before this album. So, or was it easy for you to know what to put in and not to put in this first album?
No, not easy. Definitely not. Yeah, you're totally right. You want to put everything in there, but I knew that I couldn't, and I trusted the people around me to sort of, you know, I kind of did like a survey. I mean, not like actually went out and asked everybody, but I kind of judged like which are people's favorites, what are my favorites. So some of them are seriously like my very favorites, some of them are other people's favorites, and then some of them were brand new that, you know, nobody had a chance to judge. So it was sort of a mixture, and yeah, I'm really happy with the balance.
pensive and glaring, she's staring right through me, dreaming and wondering, will she find her way? Hey, it's the future she's watching, can't quite see the frames, choppy and blurry, scenes are missing.
What posters were on the wall of your room when you were a teenager? Which band, what musicians, what?
I actually was never a person to, like, not even as a kid, to have like posters of idols ever. I had more like art. Or when I was a teenager, actually, I painted and put up. My walls were covered in artwork, basically. So. I always actually thought it was strange because a lot of my peers around me were like obsessed with, you know, boy bands, and I couldn't quite understand why they were so obsessed with them, and I thought they were acting pretty funny. But yeah, I guess I always had, I was more interested in the actual art than like having the person and the idol like in front of me. So
Paintings could have been like a direction where you would have go and instead of music, for example.
Yeah,
quickly,
actually, before I started doing this, my first choice when I was going to go to school for fine arts, and I decided that I didn't like the professors very much. I grew up in a family that was very like artsy, and my grandpa was an artist, and so we always had like these parties with like a bunch of artists around, and I mean, I love visual arts, but at the same time, sometimes I don't like if there's any air of snobbery around it, and that really bothered me, and I didn't want to be in go into school and have people constantly like thinking they're better or worse, or telling you what is art and what isn't, or what is right and what is wrong. That drives me crazy. So I think it would have been the same issue for me if I had studied music and someone said, you know, this is right and this is the wrong progression, and I'd go crazy. So I think it's better that I didn't study music, actually. Or
But is it the same for you at the end when it's like paintings or music? You say there was my own painting on the wall of my room, or there was like and now you do music mainly. So is it the same for you, like drawing, doing paintings, or writing a song?
It's very similar, except I think I feel a lot more comfortable expressing myself through music than I do through visual arts. It's I find it easier. I don't have to think as much. I think it's harder for me to turn off my brain when I'm painting, but when I'm writing, I just write, and I don't really I'm not sitting there judging myself all the time, but when I'm painting or something, it's hard to turn that person off. Yeah.
You are quickly growing older, the tops of your shelves are acquiring dust. That you read, pages turning yellow, the lampshades cracking, give into the life you've made.
When this first album was released, and when there's a first album, people like to put stickers on the back of a new artist and all that, and people do a lot of comparison. For you, it was like from Feist to Johnny Mitchell to, I don't know, Portishead, etc. What was the weirdest name that you heard, or the thing you said, what? Is there one or two?
Yeah, there was one. What is her name? It was funny because she was a rapper. Wait. Oh, one of these rappers from the 90s. Okay, my mind is drawing a blank right now.
Missy Elliott? No.
No. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Just think a rapper, period. That's funny because I don't rap, and
Not yet.
Not yet. Next album, guys. I've changed directions. No, she was a rapper, and I can't remember. You know the rapper? She was shaved head and this beautiful black woman. Anyways, I think that sometimes I would get compared to any woman that was black or mixed or of color of anything, and that was really weird because it had nothing to do with my music whatsoever, and sometimes people can be pretty silly that way. I think as long as they're comparing me to, you know, somebody musically that they respect, and they're doing it based on something they hear in my music, then that's great. I'm whatever you think. Everybody hears something different.
Is there some artists today you feel close to on a musical side or spiritual side, or you just feel not alone but doing your own stuff? Or
well, there are a lot of artists that I think that speak to me, I guess you could say, but I think I feel like I kind of understand sort of, say, the direction that who's completely different James Blake is going, and it's so different, but at the same time I think he's really brilliant because he is very different, and he, you know, tries things that other people weren't doing at the time, and sort of, you know, really takes advantage of space and emptiness and plays with his voice, and he seems to have a lot of fun, and that to me, like, he seems very free, and, you know, it may have become really quite massive, but it seems like that wasn't the intention. That seems like the intention was to create something really cool. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before, but Bjork I really respect, or an old one is like Kate Bush, probably, but she's really, again, one of these awesome artists who's totally just, you know, she's an artist. She does her own thing, and people somehow slowly decided that, oh, okay, I respect that stuff is cool. So, yeah.
Faster than the rain came down, hands cradled me from the ominous clouds. I took those hands for me to keep, a treasure unto me I bequeath.
did you care about all the technical side of the recording when you're in the studio, about the sound and all that, or not that much?
Yeah, of
You're like
course.
a control freak and you want to do a lot of takes and all that, no?
No, I'm not a control freak. I'm definitely not a control freak. I know what I want, but I'm very open to, like, you know, other people have their expertise. I'm not a engineer, so, you know, that's not my area. I also am not a violinist, so I'm not going to tell the violinist that, you know, he needs to play like this. But I have ideas, and I can hear certain melodies and stuff, and I know if I don't like the sound of something, I don't like it, and I won't put it on my album. So.
You had a certain sound in mind for this album before going into the studio?
Yeah. I'd been playing live, and over time it had sort of developed, and I started to sort of find the sound that I really liked, and I wanted it to be somewhat close to that. And I think some people want to mimic exactly their live sound on stage, but I mean, it's a studio. You have more the ability to do things that you can't do on stage. So, I mean, I took advantage a little bit of that, and I mean, I can't sing like 10 harmonies when I'm on stage. That's kind of impossible.
Not yet, too.
Not yet, yeah.
It's going to be on your rap album.
Yeah, so, I definitely took care and did some crazy things, and I think for the next time I maybe will even go a little crazier. I don't know.
So what's going to be next? Do you have already in mind what you want to do for a second album, if you want to do a second album, or not yet? It's too early.
I do. I have it. It's going to happen soon. I'm totally on it already. In the planning stages right now, but all the songs are ready, and this time because I toured a lot in North America and then as well in Europe, I have like 2 bands, and originally it started because I couldn't afford to fly my band from Canada to Europe, and but then like these bands, they both developed and turned into something really kind of special and unique, and so the next album I want to bring all those people together and sort of kind of meld these 2 worlds and create something from that. So that's the plan for next one.
So no more duality, or?
No. I'm sure there'll be some in there.
Okay. You did already only one interview without the Lennon question, or never?
Have I done one without it?
Yeah. No.
Maybe one. maybe just one. Yeah.
Okay, so you want to have one here, one question. Okay, merci Chloé Charles.
Thank you. Merci.
Do, da do, da do. Do, da do, da do. Nothing that you could say couldn't make me feel this way. I'm falling slowly into you. Nothing that you could do couldn't make me feel so blue. I'm walking blindly into you. But the poppies grow at the base of the tree that screams my name. The light in the water leaves a trace on the leaves in the ripples that read my fate. Do, da do, da do.